And we are live. Welcome back to the Wanna Parlay podcast. I'm Lance Bell. Next to me is Jack Neuheisel. Jack, go ahead and tell the folks about the beautiful people that sponsor this podcast.
As always, this show is brought to you by Wanna Parlay, home of the $2 parlay and the world's richest parlay, where every day people are turning $2 into $2,000. They make parlays for the American working man around here because that's what they are, and that's what they care about. We just concluded the month of January and another one a week, and we had tons of winners to celebrate today. As always, we start with the pick'ems. The pick four got just murdered this week. Ray 007, first time seeing him up there, goes home with $200. Bahuchi, a fun name, 175. And then on Saturday, Scarcella 17 stays hot. Return my damn text, Noah. We want to talk to you. $200 to Noah. One Mad Raider goes home with 175. Smirling, it's always great to see you there. We got him coming on the show later today. Talk Super Bowl. Talk this week's picks. Pick six, the big Zaha stays hot. Way to go. $500 right there in the pick six. Love to see it. And then pick seven, who else but Dialed Picks. He is officially on 30,000 watch people. He could do it in the main event this week alone. Fired up. We'll have him on ASAP when and if and certainly when that happens. The Parlay Royale. I'm talking the heavy hitters now. This hit a couple times over the weekend. Encouraging to see. SL Scout on Saturday and then Trev 9415 last night. Both going home with $1,000. Awesome to see. And then Melina Picks with a second place $500 guy. Nothing to scoff at. $50 down, $500 going home with. Good to be good. And then the main event, I was stoked to see this guy run the table. Elock hangs on and goes wire to wire. Posted an 8-leg 131.27 multiplier. You love to see it. By the way, you look under the hood of that parlay, Lance. This man is an absolute sicko. He's got more random college basketball there. I like teams I didn't know, universities I didn't know exist, Texas A&M Commerce and shit like that. But that's what it takes around here to win $2K on a $2 investment. This parlay would have only paid him $262 on any other sportsbook, casino, or daily fantasy sports platform. Thank you to the good people of Wanna Parlay, and good on you, Elock. 1,738 more than he would have made absolutely anywhere else. So good to be good. $2,000 for Elock. Quick reminder, we are 1 week away from today, next Monday, February 10th. The drop takeover at Little Joe's in Chicago. Wanna Parlay will be in the house with KG, Art, and Bob, as will the good folks of El Bandito Tequila. Come join us anytime you're around from 4 p.m. to 2 a.m. We are very much looking forward to that. And then a quick reminder, we've got a fun new contest open on Wanna Parlay this week, the Super Bowl Drip Contest. It is free to play. The winner is going to get an authentic NFL jersey of their choice, custom made. We're talking $150 value there. It is open now until February 9th, which is Super Bowl Sunday. And once again, it is 100% free to play. You're an idiot to not do it. Lance, let's do the podcast.
All right, let's do it. As we start off always with accountability hour, accountability time, whatever you want to call it. And I'll start off. And I went 2-2. Like you put in my notes, the NBA is tough. Started off with the Rockets plus 5.5. They played the Grizzlies last week. Kept it close, lost by 1. It was right there. They covered, did a great job. Timberwolves played the Jazz and just blew them out of the water. They were hanging close at first, and I was honestly pretty damn worried. It was the Jazz lead early. I was like, what is going on here? Then everything starts falling apart. Magic minus 5.5 against the Trailblazers. They get destroyed, Jack. They get just mauled. There was never even a chance. I mean, we had our guys, and we just didn't show up. And then Hawks plus 10.5. They got absolutely decimated by the Cavaliers, so that one wasn't close at all. 2-2. Yeah,
it was a good. I like the logic of the Hawks pick. You were catching the Cavs on a back-to-back. They just get hot and just blew them out. Magic. I tried to warn you against this. I didn't have great logic for it, but I like this Trailblazers team. They try to win, which is refreshing to see in the NBA. Timberwolves Jazz, I was on the wrong side of, which of course I was. It's a complete violation of my code of conduct. I don't bet on shitty teams. And then Houston, I mean, I got to be honest. I don't know that there's a guy on the team I like personally. I don't know that there's a person on that squad I'm rooting for. But fuck if they're not a fun team to bet on. You get the most out of them every time. We said it last week on the show. They're like kind of the Heat of a few years ago before they kind of got these no-names got popular. Where they just they leave it out there. They play it hard all the way through the fourth. It's fun to see. I go 5-3, Lance. Illinois minus 4.5 at Nebraska. I knew I was itching here. I was taking the better team on the road. This Yakachunas kid for Illinois is going to set the freshman scoring record. So I'm all in on this Illini team, but it was just, I knew it was a little fishy. It should have been a stay away. We ended up losing in overtime. Not to say we're going to cover that number anyway, but you hate to see it. Oregon plus 4.5 at UCLA. That was a little bit of a homer pick. That was a little bit of anti-UCLA blood just flowing through my veins. And I rode the Ducks. And you know what? What a mistake. I just don't belong with them, and they don't belong with me. And then we start to get a little hot. Ohio State plus 3.5 at Penn State. Dig this Buckeyes team. Tough-blooded. They win that game outright. Montana minus 3.5 versus Portland State. If I'm betting on Big Sky basketball, follow me blindly. I know what I'm talking about. The Grizz don't lose at home, particularly in a game like that. They had to win. Lakers minus 8.5 at the Wizards. Blowout. We nailed this game so hard, it's crazy. We also get all over Bronny James over half point. He ends up with his career game of 5-2-2. Just is KG in the chat?
KG's in the chat. Oh, he heard it. Don't worry.
Okay, just know, KG. All of a sudden, you owe us shots, not the other way around. Utah plus 5.5. We already talked about it. Just stupid. 138-113. They were tied after the first quarter, and I was really feeling myself. And then the Trailblazers versus the Magic, we just discussed, 119-90. Is this Blazers team my fucking team? Am I a DeAndre Ayton guy? Maybe.
Jack, I came up with a new theory real quick. NBA betting. If it's bad, if they're both bad teams, take the team from the West.
Okay.
Because if you
the West is that much better than the East.
The West has just shown they're that much. I mean, the East is so top heavy, but these middle of the pack towards the bottom are significantly worse than the middle of the pack towards the bottom than the West. So like this Magic team, it was tough though, because their role players did not do anything. They didn't help this Banchero and Wagner, who actually had decent games. There's no one else that showed up. And Blazers won that one. And then the other one I lost. Like the Hawks, like unless I think I'm betting against them tonight. I gotta go into it, but that's my new theory. I'll talk about it more when I'm making my next picks.
So when we get there at the end of today, I'm actually back in on the Magic today, but I love West. I will caution you against, though, in every sport, teams flying and traveling west to east, going over time zones. Always seem to struggle more than East teams coming out west. Just the way your natural body clock, you end up with less recovery time. All that just speeds you up. So just something to just know before you go blind on that. Just pay attention to. And then how are we doing on the waiting room? Is Raider in the building yet?
Right as you mentioned it, he showed up. So here's our guy bringing him in, David Smerling, one Mad Raider. David, can you hear us?
What's up, guys?
There
Back
he
in the winner's
is.
circle. There he is. Absolutely. How's it going, brother?
Can you see me?
Yeah.
Yeah, we got you good. How you doing?
Oh, good, man. How about you guys?
Dude, we're doing great. Not as good as you. You just a second place finish in the Pick 4 over this weekend after you said what was a 5-day drought. Lance and I have been in droughts. That's not a real drought, David. It was still good for 175 this weekend. You continue to fill up the piggy bank. You went a little rogue on us. You were switching up the sports. You took some fighters and some hoops this week. Walk me through the parlay.
Yeah, so on ESPN Plus, the fight was basically, it was free or whatever. Okay. So I got ESPN Plus, so I was trying to put as many as I could on there. And I went, I would have got another Pick 4, but I went with Peterson. He was a long shot that I thought maybe could. He's a Minnesota boy, that Midwest strength. Yeah,
a little
I thought
rugged
maybe
over there. Absolutely.
Yeah, I thought he could get it done overseas, but no, he got handed to him pretty quick.
Here's my best effort pronouncing this name: Hamdi Abdelwahab, winning over Jamal Pogos.
That he shouldn't have won. That he lost that fight. It was pretty
really bad decision.
And I was like, oh yes, I was so happy when they called the decision. But yeah, the other guy got robbed. That Pogues or whatever.
Yeah, Hamdi, and then he had Bogdan Grad winning over Lucas Alexander. Walker, are you a fight fan, or do you do any advanced research? What are you looking at when you're making picks on fighters?
So there's this podcast I listen to where they kind of give you a little bit of picks on UFC, and then I've been watching UFC for like the past 10 years, but I didn't even know that Grad guy at all.
And you just go and write them, and all the way to $175. It's good to be good.
Yep. Yep, yeah, that was nice because there was only a couple people I could pick, because the heavy favorites you can't pick in the pick fours or whatever.
Right.
So,
Right. Because
so
then you
I
don't get the
always do a
points.
little
Yeah.
research, but I don't know too much about it. But
Well, that's
my
awesome.
wheelhouse is the NFL. That's what I really enjoy.
Well,
So
so I was going to ask you, and we'll just skip by your podcast, but that it's Super Bowl week. We got to shift attention now to Super Bowl Sunday. What are your early instincts going into this game?
I got the Chiefs. I think they're gonna, I think they're gonna win still, the three-peat. I don't see how Philly can win. I just don't see it. They're getting healthy too, but I think the line should be bigger than 1.5. But maybe I'll be wrong. We'll see.
Did
And
you ever?
DeAndre Hopkins, 10.5 receiving yards. Oh, come on. This is his first time Super
Oh,
Bowl.
that's
They're
a
gonna give
hammer.
him. He's gonna get that. Yeah.
That's a hammer.
Yeah.
That's a hammer.
So, yeah.
Let me ask you this question: have you ever seen the movie Draft Day?
Nope.
Okay, you don't have to.
Oh,
It's not
Draft Day. Yeah, with Kevin Costner.
Yeah, with Kevin Costner. Yeah.
Yep.
I was gonna say you don't have to. Not a great movie. Not exactly timeless. Kevin Costner's got a lot better ones in the canon than that one.
No, I've seen that.
But the like closing line of that movie is he wants to draft the guy, so it's Vontae Mack no matter what, or whatever the guy's name was. Is this thing? I am writing all over my notes all week before I let my stupid brain come in and confuse this bet. It's Patrick Mahomes no matter what. It's the Chiefs on a 1.5 no matter what. And if I get burned losing on that, tip of the cap, just Eagles, way to go. But if I take the Eagles and I let Patrick Mahomes have the ball with a 1.5 left and I have to just watch that crash down in my head, absolutely not. It's not how we're closing out this year's football season.
Yep, I'm going down. I got all my main event picks pretty much in already, and I put a bunch of Mahomes over 1.5 touchdowns, Kansas City money line or 1.5. But I could see him. I think they're gonna win by like 10, but we'll see. So
here's another question. Lance and I are getting a little nervous because we're hardcore football guys. He's a good NBA fan. I'm a decent college hoops guy. So we've got that, like, what we're excited about. But we just started kind of shifting our focus to getting deep and ingratiated into that. What are you, as a good sports fan, looking forward to when we get past February 9th here?
Probably March Madness.
Yeah. So you're a traditionalist then. It's March Madness to Masters to a little bit of baseball season, some NBA and NHL playoffs. Yeah.
Yeah. I was watching a little Pebble Beach. It was nice to see Rory get the win there.
27th win. I liked his comment on it too. He said it's his first big win in an all-time venue, which is true. He's lost at St. Andrews close, Augusta close, Pinehurst close. So it was cool to see him win at one of golf's greatest theaters. Pebble's awesome.
Yeah. Yeah.
You got any action on waste management going into this weekend?
No, I don't. I didn't even look at the lines yet to see who's in.
It's I always go to that just pocket of just who wants the crowd, who wants the stage. You see Brooks show up there every now and again.
Yeah, waste management. That's the one where they cheer.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
They're all loud.
Yeah, this is the one with the stadium hole. Yeah, on 16.
Nice.
And we'll see how much longer it lasts because there's been.
Who do you think?
What's that?
Who do you got?
We'll see. I'm kind of now that the PGA and Live are starting to get closer back together. Like I don't know. Like this whole golf season's a little screwed up. I gotta go redo my pecking order and figure out who's who. We'll see. I'm just fired up to watch it. Usually because it's always the weekend of the Super Bowl is the waste management. This is usually my first golf tournament I'll watch seriously. I'll watch the Sunday deal while I'm getting my NFL picks in that day. And that usually bleeds right into the kickoff, which is just as good a Sunday as you're going to find in the winter.
Right. Yep. How do you guys? What do you think about Lakers? You guys are big Laker fans. You excited?
Lance, take it.
This is one of the greatest transactions to happen to the Lakers, and since probably the trade, maybe either the trade to draft Kobe or the trade to get Shaq, whichever, or the free agency signing to get Shaq. Whichever you want to say, but this is massive. When anytime a top 3 player like Luka Doncic is on the table, I think they might have given LeBron away on a 1-to-1 if he didn't have a no trade clause. But you got to go get a guy like Luka Doncic. He's 25 years old. Remember when LeBron was 25 years old, it was 2010. When Jordan was 25, it was 89, right before his run in the finals. This guy's a superstar. He's all time. And now he gets to team up with LeBron, and we can see It's a little interesting. Both ball dominant guys, of course, but we'll definitely see down the road as this becomes Luka's team. LeBron will finally be a Robin for the first time in his career. This is going to be great stuff, David. I wish the best for the Bucks, but if you guys make it to the finals with us Lakers, I'm sorry, that's in 4.
You guys need a big man though.
We
got time. We got time.
So you got Rui. I really like Rui, but who else do you even have right now?
Right?
Nobody, right?
Yeah.
We're playing small ball 5 with LeBron when we play tomorrow night.
But when you have a player like Luka Doncic on the table, you don't say no. You'd be a fool to say no. So it's one of the honestly most bizarre transactions I've seen in the NBA ever. I've never seen a trade like this. Yeah, you're 100% right. I've never seen a trade like this. It's unbelievable.
You see the GM interview? That was cringy, dude.
It's tough. I don't know how that guy's going to have it. I don't know how he's going to have a job in the next year or two. Cuban has to be punching himself to the fact that he gave up his power within that organization because he, years ago said, if it came down to Luka Doncic or my wife, you'll see me in the divorce office because I'm not getting rid of this guy. And there he goes. And now there are reports he's up to 270, out of shape. Things like there's all the. I'm sorry. You don't trade a 25-year-old superstar who's arguably, you could argue, the best player in the NBA with everyone else.
Yeah, David, a little perspective on this. Lantz is a born and raised Southern California man. I didn't get out here till high school, and then have been in and out of town since graduating school. So I like get to adopt LA. I'm not a born and bred LA guy. I didn't get the Lakers till 2011, so I got to ride the back end of Kobe when it was over, and then the shit years. I can tell you with that perspective and just getting to sit and watch yesterday, the people of LA were just laughing. We were just laughing because it remains good to be good. Just for whatever reason, it honestly feels like the NBA put their thumbs on the scale and forced this trade. How bizarre it is. Whereas like down here for the NBA, the ratings are bad. Let's make our biggest brand big again. Here's Luka. And I was just like, it is good to be good. It's sometimes just awesome being in the big market.
I wonder, was there some shit going down with those two? LeBron and AD, I wonder?
No.
It didn't seem like honestly, they were pretty unified as teammates throughout like their entire time here.
And the Mavericks GM, I mean, when he mentioned the name Luka Doncic, like you hear that, any GM, not only Rob Pelinka, any GM in the league, minus maybe 2 or 3 players, we'll give you whatever you want for that guy. So that's why it was so blindsiding to some of these players, because I imagine Rob Pelinka's sitting here like, holy shit, I can't believe, like, I just found a diamond in the rough. Like, what is, how? While the other GM had this firm belief that he's the guy. I feel like he has a little bit of an ego problem. There was a report that he was the guy that pitched Steph Curry to go to Nike, and he absolutely butchered the proposal so bad. Because remember, you're Nike, and Under Armour wasn't anything back in 2014 when he's doing this. He fumbled it so bad that Steph went to Under Armour, and that's on his rap sheet. And now he just traded Luka Doncic, a 25-year-old superstar, for Anthony Davis, a 31-year-old aging star.
Yeah.
This is gnarly stuff. This is gnarly stuff.
Yeah. In summation, we're fired up. We're fired up. Last question for you, Dave, before we let you go. And thank you again for coming on today.
Yeah, no problem.
The last time we had you on the show, he had won even more money than this. And that money was going to some Russian Imperial Stouts, if I recall correctly. Yeah. What's the latest thing? Want to parlay is botcha. What's the next fun thing, hitting the fridge or hitting your credit card bill?
I just paying stuff down, getting back, just getting the checking account back up,
I love it.
Yep. I haven't been drinking really this week, and I'm kind of overcoming a cold right now. So I felt a little better today, but I don't know what the hell I had.
Well, a little beer is Wisconsin's Motrin, isn't it? That's just a little Advil for you out there.
Absolutely.
Dave,
these are what I'm drinking today right here.
There you go. Just jacking it up a little bit. Well, dude, we'll let you go, but please come back on the show later this week if you want. We're going to be talking a little NBA tomorrow, and then it's all Super Bowl, everything football on Thursday. So always welcome to come on.
Yeah, I can come back on Thursday. Absolutely. I got my daughter all day tomorrow. So, but yeah.
Right on. Well,
after that, absolutely.
An absolute winner, and we love him around here.
Hell yeah. I love you guys. Love the podcast, man. Keep it up.
Awesome, David. Appreciate it again.
Hey, and I got DeJuan Harris Jr. again, man. 6.5 assists. I think he's going to go over that tonight. We'll see.
Jotting it down.
I don't know.
Once again, this guy just won $175. He is so good at gambling. He called 5 days off a cold streak. If this is your first time listening to us and meeting the One Mad Raider on Wanna Parlay, go look him up.
West Virginia too. The West Virginia game over 130.5 tonight. That's got to hit, right? That's
got West Virginia. And then what was the other? Give me that name one more time. I'm writing as fast as I can go.
Jr. in Kansas.
DeJuan Harris Jr.
He's going to get over 6.5 assists.
I'm on Kansas.
He's been doing it.
I'm on Kansas tonight. You like that?
Yep, me too. Absolutely. At home.
Right on.
Iowa State looked like they were the number one team, but they haven't lately, so we'll see.
Lost 3 of their last 5. I think they're kind of fraudulent. And I thought Kansas was fraudulent all year. It was Hunter Dickinson or bust, but I'm in on the Jayhawks tonight.
Yep, absolutely.
All righty, brother. Take it easy. We appreciate it.
Thanks for having me on, boys.
Yep. All right, we'll see you
later.
Boom.
One of my all-time favorites.
Yeah, he's an absolute legend. And we got that little preview of the thoughts on that Luka AD trade. Got the fire up in there.
A little teaser there. So let's, as I motor through some of our other topics here, Lance, a couple of them I just want to quick gut instincts, because we're mostly teasing what will be more fully fledged out conversations later in the week. So obviously Super Bowl week. Gut instinct, man. How's this game going? Are you with me in Smerlin? Because I'm all Chiefs here.
So I'm going to go gut instinct. When I first found out the Super Bowl was going to be Chiefs-Eagles, I thought Chiefs, no doubt, going that way, live and die, Patrick Mahomes. Like, why would you do anything else? Now, like we've said before on the podcast, we come up with dumb narratives, right? We come up with just narratives that we spin up in our head. And I'm sitting here looking at this game. This game has so much history in it, for the Chiefs. If they win, they're the first team ever to three-peat Super Bowls. That is unbelievable. That's an unbelievable achievement, and we might not ever see it again. There was one time, there was a Super Bowl that had the magnitude of this history, and it was Tom Brady with Randy Moss and those killers going in and playing the New York Giants that ended up being the biggest upset in Super Bowl history. So when there's a lot of history and shit on the line, anything can happen. Things start,
I'm kind of with you. And honestly, it doesn't feel so different from that Patriots-Eagles game. The Nick Foles, really special, strip sack, Chris Long late to win the game. In terms of the magnitude and the type of generational team we have here and the Chiefs, and then because on paper, dude, team for team, the Eagles are better.
Yeah.
I'll say it.
I agree with you.
The Eagles are so well constructed. They're built through the middle. I think they've got the best offensive line and defensive line in football. They've got linebackers that run the fuck around. They've got great skill positions everywhere. There's a legitimate argument to be made. Saquon Barkley should easily be MVP this year, but we've gotten a little bit quarterback happy, and so we've skewed it to a Lamar, Josh Allen conversation. So all of that's still going for the Eagles. I've watched enough football to know how important fucking quarterback play is. And I bet on enough Patrick Mahomes and Tom Brady and Drew Brees games to know I am not getting against a generational quarterback. And we have talked about it at length on the show, and it's not, a unique opinion. I think this is pretty unanimous across the board, is Tom Brady remains the GOAT because there's intangibles to that. And we have to see the career when it's all said and done. But as far as who's the best you've ever seen do it, to a man, do we not all agree it's Patrick Mahomes? If we were going to redraft and you could draft any player in the history of the NFL, is your first pick not Patrick Mahomes?
I think it has to be.
I mean, it's unbelievable. And I could say the same about a couple quarterbacks in this year's NFL. If I'm looking at Lamar Jackson and Tom Brady, and I'm the biggest Tom Brady fan alive, I don't know how the fuck I'd not draft Lamar. We're in this unbelievable era of the NFL. Jalen Hurts does appear to be a little bit of a baller. Jalen Hurts is going to play his best game. This Eagles team is damn good. It's just a matter of are the Chiefs going to be manage the game well enough to have a chance late? And then are they going to get the ball with a chance late? And all of that, if you can rationalize that to yourself, which to me, I did 2 weeks ago, I think they could easily be sitting and possibly in control of this game because I think they're defensively, they can make the Eagles a little one-dimensional on offense, try to dare Jalen Hurts to beat them and take Saquon out of this game. I do not see a world Patrick Mahomes doesn't get this ball either winning or down 3 with a chance to go ahead or tie the game late in the deal. And if that's the case, I mean, wouldn't you just want to bet on the chance that a Chiefs blowout too up front? Why wait live? I'm taking the shit right now.
You're 100% right. It's nothing really other than the historical standpoint of the game has made me shift Eagles. Cause I knew everything when like going into my gut feeling, I knew how good the Eagles were. I knew who both teams were. The Chiefs remain the best team. I said it early in the season. I said it middle of the season, end of the season. We all said it. Chiefs are winning the Super Bowl. Now we're actually here. No way to shy away now. Chiefs are winning the Super Bowl.
One thing that I'm going to add to my gut instinct thing here, I think a sharp play on this Super Bowl, which is not typically my play, a lot of star player unders. Because I think we're going to get underball. I think you got the number 1 defense in football all season was the Eagles. Chiefs have been top 10 in basically every meaningful metric. They're 9th in yards allowed. They got 2 weeks to prepare with Andy Reid and their great fucking defensive staff they have there. They're going to play great on defense. The Super Bowl's always funny. The way that, all of a sudden that they're out there and it takes 40 minutes once they're standing on the sideline to actually play the game. Traditionally, first quarters in these games are super slow. Famously, until Tom Brady was with the Buccaneers, he had never thrown a first quarter touchdown in a Super Bowl, and he had played in fucking 9 of them.
Yeah.
So these games get off to a little bit of a slow start. Every single one of these games in the AFC and NFC championships, all the way back to the playoffs, we're not getting above 47.5 on the over-unders. This one's sitting at 48.5. So it'll be interesting, especially if you got to imagine the Eagles are going to try to establish Saquon all game in the beginning. If the Chiefs can start up and now we take Saquon out of the game by virtue of just scheme because we have to throw it a little bit more on early downs if you're the Eagles, just all of a sudden look out. This is underball all day.
No, I agree with you 100%. I was talking to an old head over the weekend. We had a baby shower for my sister, so there's a lot of old heads lurking. And they tell me historically, you go with the over on Super Bowls. It's Super Bowls. It's the game, the biggest game in all of American sports. And yeah, I think I'm with you. Under. This is the year of the under. Then that's what the old head agreed as well. It's this year, take the under. These are unbelievable rosters and defenses. It's going to be a lot guttier of a game than people imagine. So I agree with you. Let me read through some of these chats because it was honestly, there's something hovering over and I kind of missed these. So I messed up. Sorry, KG Little Joes, but let's start with you. Yes, 1 week from today when he was talking about the drop takeover. The drop takeover, let's fucking go. And oh yeah, I got my wanna parlay tax forms today, but it's better to get one than not to get one. There you go, KG Little Joes. Fire up.
Right. Absolutely right.
He came in. Kansas City Swifties last possession win. Take Barkley anytime touchdown, AJ Brown anytime touchdown, and AJ Brown over 70.5 receiving yards, as well as Mahomes over 1.5 touchdown passes and a Kelsey anytime touchdown. So I believe KG in that message thinks he's on the over. He's thinking over because you can't have that many touchdowns without.
Only one I didn't like in there was AJ Brown. I think AJ Brown's going to have a tough day. He went way under in most of these playoff games. And I think if there's anybody that's going to eat on the offense that isn't Saquon, it's going to be Devontae Smith. I like his ability to win one-on-one more, and I think he's easier schemed open versus A.J. Brown, who's obviously an outside receiver, and it is what it is. So you can create a scheme that tries to take him away. So that would be what I'm doing if I'm the Chiefs, and I would think Devontae Smith is going to have a little bit of a day, and A.J. Brown's going to struggle. I don't hate the anytime touchdown necessarily, because you got to sell out to stop the run when you get into a red zone situation against the Eagles. So I kind of like that pick, but I don't like the yards.
I agree. The yards a little scary, but I could also see, I mean, a lot of the Eagles offense, Jack, whether we like to say it or not, like is a deep huck to AJ Brown.
Oh yeah.
Like it could be like fourth downs they throw those. So they're super confident in that guy and his ability, as they should be. He's an all-time, I don't know about all time, but he's a great talent. But let me finish with KG Little Joe's. He says Lakers going to trade for Capella. Interesting. I don't know about Clint. Clint might be done, but not a bad idea.
He feels a smidge washed.
Yeah.
I will say though, he fits that bill. We just need a defensive-minded guy. It's Greg Williams. Who's the guy from the Celtics? 44.
Robert Williams. He's just rotting away up in Portland. Let's get him off there.
Yeah, Robert Williams. Miles Turner's obviously the dream.
Yeah.
It's wait and see on that. And then, but Capella kind of fits that bill for me. I wouldn't hate it. I'm out on the Valanciunas or any of these offensive-minded fives. I don't need it. I need defensive-oriented fucking rim protectors.
Yeah, especially with the departure of AD now, especially. Like, we need someone that's tough in there, 100%. Well, one last from KG. He says, well, they have to stack the line against Barkley, so it's going to be all one-on-one against the receivers. Okay. So he's referring back to his picks.
No, that's a fair counter. Yeah. Absolutely.
No, yeah. I don't know. I was just reading the chats. Go on. What were we talking about? I kind of lost my train of thought.
Oh, nothing. So basically, we got through our Super Bowl discussion. I want to tease one idea I have here that is the only thing that spooks me on this Chiefs deal. There's been all this animosity against the Chiefs because everyone's convinced the refs are in their pocket, which I think is an overblown sentiment. The NFL desperately needed the Chiefs to get to the Super Bowl for ratings' sake. This is the best thing it could have. This is the matchup they wanted for ratings' sake. They do not need the Chiefs to win this game for ratings' sake. I'd actually argue it might be better should the Eagles win it. So you need Taylor Swift. We got to show her 4 times on camera this game, but I don't know that you need the Chiefs to win this game. We shall see. It's just to be continued Thursday.
Yep. I agree.
And then just wanted to bounce around. Obviously, we're going to get a little NBA talk going tomorrow. We talked the Luka AD thing. Worth mentioning, De'Aaron Fox to the Spurs for basically nothing. And that 3-way trade finds Zach LaVine end up going to the Kings. Trade deadline is this Thursday. Stoked on what else we're going to see. Hopefully we get some news between now and tomorrow's show. Couple little updates I saw just before we came on here, Lance. Jimmy Butler informed the Warriors he won't sign there, so he's out of that deal. Totally fucks my bet tonight. I was betting against the Warriors, saying they're in ruins, they're going to lose this game and then sign Jimmy Butler. Nope, not happening at all. So we'll see. And then Suns apparently listening to calls on Kevin Durant and Bradley Beal. Obviously, when Luka moves, anybody can be moved. So I'm stoked on that. Would be fascinating to see him wind up with a contender. I really dig Kevin Durant's game, and I wish he could be in a place where he wouldn't have to answer for so much losing, so he doesn't have to just be like the mopey guy in interviews, because he seems like a good hang. I really want to like Kevin Durant. Ever since he went to the Warriors, it's been impossible to like him. Brief stint with the Nets where it was fun, but I'd love to see him back on a likable team, because we need to remember him as a top 10 player we ever saw, because it's in our lifetimes he absolutely was that. Turner to Lakers, we just mentioned. Joel Embiid was in early talks. I would love to see something wacky happen there. I still feel like Philly's fucked up. Zion Williamson's name has cooled down, but I just think it'd be fun. Let's start seeing him actually play basketball. Trae Young's name was thrown around early. Now it's kind of been taken off. As with LiAngelo Ball, all of a sudden I've seen LiAngelo Ball's name added to some do not touch lists, which I thought he was in Lakers conversations 2 weeks ago. So we'll see. And then, Lance, the fun conversation I want to have tomorrow. I don't quite see how Luka and LeBron share the floor. Before we traded away AD, thought we were basically going to have to in the playoffs do what the Mavs did last year with Luka on defense, where he's just kind of that Aaron Gordon blocker position. He's just kind of the slide guy down low, but can take off possessions on defense so we can exert him on offense. And now we've got both guys on the floor. We straight up might play a zone, first fucking zone in NBA history. But would love to have the thought experiment. Could LeBron get moved? And then I got 2 other random headlines I wanted to hit before we hit our picks and get out of here.
All right, so I'm just going to go through real briefly because we're doing a lot of NBA tomorrow. But Jimmy Butler tells Warriors he won't sign there. Yeah, Jimmy Butler's kind of a diva, and he wants to be in control of his own path. He's waiting for the next contract. I don't know why. I feel like he's set on the Suns right now, and that's why he's telling other teams and sabotaging the deals. But I don't know. The Jimmy Butler thing, he's 34. I'm not really. He's a diva. He's looking for more money. I don't know how to answer that one. Next, Suns listening to calls on Durant. This 100% because they're not going to trade Booker because Booker's the guy they drafted and he's their homer. Booker stays. No one wants Beal. No one wants that horrible contract that includes a no trade clause. And he's just not great. Bradley Beal has always been a good player. Right in that all-star caliber. He's not worth 270 odd million in a no trade clause. No, I'd much rather see quite literally anyone else. Miles Turner to the Lakers. This is year 7 of this rumor. I hope it's true. I'm
so right.
I'm like, every time I hope it's true. Yeah. Joel Embiid, that one's so interesting because he hasn't played half the games in his career and he's made a lot more money than most NBA players in their career. Zion Williamson. I think we shrink the NBA. Get rid of the Pelicans organization because they just had DeJounte Murray now pop his Achilles. They've had injury problems all year, and then Zion Williamson has been Zion Williamson. At some point, I got to look at the organization. I got to look who's in there, and they're the ones that seem like they've been failing. Trae Young next. Trae Young's a tough one because you really got to orchestrate your roster around a 6'1", 190-pound dude. And he is generational on the offensive side, but he's such a liability on the defensive side that it's just tough. Brutal. And he makes so much money. It's like, is he a one? Is he your one guy? Probably not. But he led him to conference finals when early on against the Bucks. He went into New York. Trae Young's a great player. Would you
rather Trae Young or Jalen Brunson on your team?
That's a great question. That's a great question. So I don't know Jalen Brunson as much defensively. I haven't seen. I feel like he's probably tougher just because he's a thicker dude. He's he's probably got 25, 30 pounds on Trae Young.
And he's a bit of a dog.
He wasn't in the limelight in the beginning of his career. He learned under Luka and then kind of branched off into this great player. So that one I'd probably still lean Brunson.
Ooh, nice. I'm with you.
Brunson, right? Because it's like this guy, I mean, with the...
I get more.
Yeah, you get more. You get more. That's a great... And then LiAngelo Ball, I feel like, especially now after what we just watched the Mavericks do or did, GMs are going to think twice about moving any of these star players because they just moved on Luka Doncic and they're about to see the fire that's going to start in Dallas. This could have set them back 10 years and being they might have to wait for a new great player. They'll have this run with Kyrie and AD. I'll even give them another one next year. Let's give them you get two-year window.
Yeah.
So you got to win a championship in this window for it to be a successful trade. That's the truth. And then you have to hope the Lakers don't win the chip in the next 7 years for the trade to be successful. Because I thought, so you need a lot for the Mavericks for this not to be a failure. KG Little Joe's real quick. He goes, even NBA 2K25, the video game rejected this trade. You're 100% right. You're 100% right. Oh, and KG Little Joe's, this is beautiful. You just said Sacramento enjoying that Levine-DeRozan duo. It's going to fail. We saw it well in Chicago. You're 100% right. What a weird... Good. But I will say another one on that, the Kings, the trade, that one, there's rumors De'Aaron Fox takes not only games off, but plays off, and he wasn't the hardest worker. There's some turmoil within the Kings organization. Now, I personally think it's because the Kings haven't given him a great opportunity to be great. I mean, I know you got Sabonis and some of these guys, and you're cute in the West, but you're not going to go win championships with that. And now... Yeah. They wanted out from him. They wanted a guy in Levine, and I do believe it will fail. I don't see LaVine as that great of a player. I feel like he's always had empty stats on shitty teams, just jacking up shots. But we'll see.
The Kings are a nightmare of a franchise. They need to relocate.
Them and the Pelicans, teams. We got really bad teams in the NBA that don't need to be that bad. I know we're making a lot of money and it's like more teams, make it bigger. It's like, no, we look at the Wizards. They're 7-41. There's about five guys that you'd keep in the NBA from that team and everyone else ship them out. That's my thoughts.
Anyway.
Yeah.
TBD tomorrow. Big NBA day tomorrow on Tuesday. Yeah. Same time tomorrow, by the way, folks. 2 other little headlines I wanted to hit before we left today, just because we got to touch them. Canada is booing the American national anthem at NHL and Raptors games. Have you heard this?
You're telling me this for the first time. It doesn't surprise me. The recent political and all that.
It's the politics of it all.
But I will say, have a little more respect, Canada. We've carried your ass the entire time you've existed. I mean, we're your fucking father.
So anyway, it's a long way for me to say Sport needs to come back on the show and explain himself.
He will be on our side and he will be disappointed in his Canadians. I promise you that one. So yeah, we do have to have him on. We will get him on soon.
Yeah, but when we get through this Sunday, we're back into being hockey guys, so we'll be good. And then just wanted to bring up the headline because it's an evolving story, so we'll keep you posted on this if there are any ramifications that come. But an MLB ump was fired for having a shared betting account with a personal friend. So far, no evidence has come out to him directly betting on games that he was umpiring, but he has also deleted several text messages that were critical to the overall investigation. So a little bit of shady shit going on over there.
Yeah, my thoughts with that one, I mean, he's guilty. Yeah. You don't delete shit and you have a shared betting with a friend. Like what are we talking about? Oh, we haven't found evidence conclusive enough that he. Stop all that. Everyone knows right from wrong, and if you don't, you're probably a sociopath, and there's something wrong with you. And he knew he was in the wrong with what he was doing. And if he didn't, he's a fool. So those are my thoughts on it.
It's amazing how hard these leagues have to try every time to get over to make sure the public does not think there's any collusion or rigged up games or anything like that. Because obviously the whole point of live sports is you never know what's going to happen. The second someone actually knows what's going to happen, now we're in WWE and this all sucks. Yeah. So it'll be interesting to see what all comes of this. But I'll say for every sports league, we need to pay these guys better. We need unions, and they need to be year-round employees where we're having training, conferences, getting better constantly. And then you can have the transparency and all that stuff. But for the most part, these guys have other day jobs, these guys that do these jobs. MLB umpires, not so much. They have a better union than others. But NFL referees, famously, my mom's high school principal would not be at schools on Fridays because he'd be traveling to go be the head ref on Sundays for games. And it's like, wow. What? Why are you also a principal? I want you watching film. I want you walking back in your games. God, your role is so important. I'm betting on this game. Anyway, so we'll see what comes of this, but I'd love to see that direction change. And frankly, I want to be in support of refs. It's a hard fucking job out there. Anyway, though, we got great shows coming up Tuesday, coming up Thursday. Lanny, I say we hit our picks and we get out of here.
Yep. KG Lojo's real quick. He said, if he has a Wanna Parlay app, this will be great. Yeah. Should we run a promo like we were the we were the app that was on his the shared. Honestly, yeah. Watch your Instagram. That might be a new ad coming out in the next day or two. I mean, that's pretty damn good. Beautiful stuff. KG, David, you guys are legends. All right, let's hop into tonight's picks. KG, I want your thoughts in here. I want your thoughts in the chat because you're actually kind of good at what you do with these picks. So here I go. I'm in the NBA. I got Rockets plus 6.5 at Knicks. Hey, I'm riding this Rockets. I feel like Vegas keeps disrespecting them with the lines. I'm gonna keep going with it. Why not? Because if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Next, Suns minus 4.5 at Blazers. I know this is your new team, Jack. I don't want to be ruffling any feathers, but I think the Suns, they've been trying to get back. They're trying to win games. I mean, the whole turmoil with Budenholzer and Nurkic haven't talked in months. Yeah, and Beal and all them coming up. There's just weird stuff. They've done a decent job keeping it closed because you haven't heard much else about it, but weird stuff. But I still like them to win, sadly. Give me Kevin Durant. All right. T-Wolves -5.5 versus Kings. I like this one because it's at T-Wolves. Kings just had the big shift, and they might be a little distracting. T-Wolves are still trying to win games, 7th seed in the West, I think at 27-22, where the Kings are 500 and just going to get their new team. Heart lean T-Wolves there. Next, last but not least, I like Pistons -4.5 at home against the Hawks. Why I like this? Jalen Johnson, that 6'10 demigod guy I was telling you about that the Hawks got, just a great wing player. Out for season. Tough.
Ooh.
Tough loss for them. Capella's been out, and Trae Young had that hammy and all that, all those problems over there at the Hawks, and going to the Pistons, who are they're fighting as hard as any team in the NBA because this is their first season actually being somewhat legit. So I think Cade Cunningham and co. take care of business. Give me the Pistons -4 against the Hawks, and those are my picks. One more time: Rockets +6.5, Suns -4.5, T-Wolves -5.5, and Pistons -4.5. Bada bing, bada boom. Jack, go ahead.
Rockets +6.5. I've already written it down. I was rushing to add it to my Smirling picks as well. Taking it, love it. Suns -4.5 at Blazers. I don't know what's happening in the Suns locker room right now, and this Blazers team feels like they just want to win. I don't know. It feels like it could be a stay away right there. T-Wolves -5.5 versus Kings. If this game was in Sacramento, I would have said, let's play our usual narrative. When someone gets fired, we love to hammer them. For whatever reason, there's this galvanization moment. But the game's on the road. Kings found out this news while on a road trip. It's the T-Wolves all day. We're the disjointed Kings team. And then the Pistons -4.5 versus the Hawks. Kind of a fun watch. I think there's going to be 7 top 5 picks in that game. So very cool there.
That's interesting. That's very interesting.
But given the injuries now, this Hawks team looks a little weird. And I keep hearing Bogdanovich name in trade talks as well. So I think the Hawks are weird. I think that line tells you everything you need to know because it should be closer to pick them. The fact that Vegas is leaning into the Pistons that hard, just go ahead and trust it and take it. My picks. Going college hoops. Brought it up with Smirling earlier in the show. Kansas -2 versus Iowa State. Weird game, weird line. On one hand, I don't think this Kansas team is good at all. I was telling David, it's Hunter Dickinson and bust every time you seem to watch them. This is going to be the second matchup between these two teams. Kansas got beat on the road by 17 the last time they played. But I also think this Iowa State team are a complete pack of frauds as well. And they're on a little bit of a slide right now. Since they beat Kansas by 17, they've lost 3 of their last 5, including losing their last 2. That's to Kansas State and to forgetting who else. But point is, this team felt like the number 1 team in the country for a little bit. And if you really go unpack it all, you're not going to find the great win other than the Kansas game. And again, how good is Kansas? Although this, and we're going to get rocking in Allen Fieldhouse tonight. It's Kansas. Trust it. Listen to the line. Rock with Kansas. And then was it DeJuan? I forget who Smirling said on the prop.
Oh, yes. He threw DeJuan Harris Jr.
DeJuan Harris Jr. Beautiful. One more college hoops game on here. Going to American Athletic Conference. North Texas +2.5 at UAB. It's a massive game for both teams who are trying to make the dance and are very much on the outside looking in right now. The American will never get more than 2 teams as it's currently slated. It's a must-win for these 2 teams who are currently tied for second in the conference. This is to keep yourself alive right here, basically for a quest. Otherwise, you're going to have to fuck around and beat Memphis and win the tournament, which I just don't see anybody actually beating Memphis. And this North Texas team, they've beaten Minnesota on the road. They've beaten Oregon State, and they also played Utah State and Memphis very tough. Both teams will make and possibly win a couple games in the tourney. So I like the North Texas team. Big game at UAB. I'm going with them. I think they're going to win it outright, and they're getting 2.5 in that game. NBA, I had one take, and it sucks because Jimmy Butler said he's not going to the Warriors. So I don't know what's happening in Warrior land right now, but I had Orlando +3.5 at the Warriors. It's a battle between 2 500-ish teams. I think Orlando's 2 back from 500 right now, but they both think they're making the playoffs. Warriors are disjointed and bad right now. Very unclear if Draymond's going to play, and they seem to be terrible when he doesn't. I thought this was going to be the loss that was going to usher in a Jimmy Butler into the building. Apparently it's not going to happen. Fascinated to see where the Warriors go next. And Lance, that's the show. If you got any notes on my picks, It's let me rattle them off again. Kansas -2, North Texas +2.5, Orlando +3.5.
So in the Kansas -2, I'm a little because I don't know. Let me clarify. I don't know anything about these two teams. College basketball, it's not my thing. But just looking at it from the outside sports perspective, it's a revenge game for Kansas. I mean, they got their ass beat at Iowa State. And Iowa State, I mean, they're sliding and losing, so you don't know how much. I think I like Kansas here. I agree, just from that outside perspective. Obviously, I don't know too much. North Texas, yeah.
Let me say this about that game. I'm until proven otherwise, I'm prepared to have both those teams losing in the first round in an upset in the tournament. I think both these teams are overrated.
Wow.
It would ordinarily be a stay away. I just think that highly of Allen Fieldhouse and home court advantage in college basketball. So okay. I'm trusting this in an evenly matched game that the home crowd of Kansas just carries us. We play a tough game and end up pulling away with 5 to go.
No, hey, I like it. I like it. And then to your NBA one. So personally in this, to my new theory, I would go Warriors here. Mm-hmm. But Orlando's been dropping games. Draymond's hurt. Warriors, a report came out that they have literally inquired on every single All-Star in the NBA available. They're calling every team. They're trying to pair something up. The Warriors inquired about Kevin Durant and LeBron James. They say that's a dream over there. I don't know, but I like your play of Orlando tonight, +3.5.
I bet on the Warriors and lost on him last week, Lance. And I'm watching it. Steph had 2 points going into halftime. He seems exhausted trying to carry this team. Draymond's been hurt. Obviously, no more Klay Thompson. And he's willing this group of otherwise. I mean, can you imagine? I mean, I've had to carry a lot of bad Lakers teams. If you take Steph off this team and Draymond's not in the starting 5, it reminds me of these shitty Lakers teams I would try to talk myself into, where it's like just a bunch of nobodies. And when you have them on the floor with all-stars, all of a sudden you get into Kuminga and Bazinski and Gary Payton Jr. and all these guys. But no, sir. I do not. The Warriors got to do something.
And it's tough because, I mean, how it's so many people, a lot of fans just always shit on Draymond. They've always been at his neck, and rightfully so. I mean, he's one of those characters. But
he begs for it. Yeah.
He is a valuable asset to whatever NBA team he's a part of, and I don't want anyone to ever forget that or get that twisted.
He entered the NBA right as the league was changing.
Yeah.
And so he was good before I could appreciate what I was even looking at. But to be the defensive versatility, to be able to switch on and lock down all 5 positions, absurd. And then on offense, the ability to be that good in the high pick and roll and seemingly a legit top percentage passer in the league. Always makes the right
high IQ player, very high IQ.
And so many times Steph really plays like a 2 more than he plays like a 1. They let Draymond get it on the high pick and roll and operate like a 1 as a point forward up there. It took me a long time to appreciate how good he was, because for years people talked about him like a top 20 player, and I was like, fuck no, he is not. But that's what he begs for. He's just a great heel. He is the guy you absolutely love when he's on your team and absolutely can't stand him when he's not.
Yep.
So if Draymond's not playing in this game, I'm going to stick to the bet. If he is, I'll probably sit it out. Fair warning to everybody else I'm trying to encourage to jump in.
Hey, and that's smart stuff. That's valid. All right. Well, that wraps up the main part of this show. You want to hit us with the outro?
Yeah, this was the Wanna Parlay podcast, the official podcast and home of all things Wanna Parlay, granddaddy of the $2 parlay and the world's richest parlay, the platform that makes parlays for the working American man, because that's what we are and that's what we care about. Thank you to David Smerling, One Mad Raider, for coming on the show today. And again, big congrats to all of our big winners from the weekend. And the pick 4, it was Ray 007 going on with $200. Bahuchi 175, Scarcella 17 with 200 himself, and One Mad Raider, our guy Smerling that we talked to, going home with 175. The pick 6, Big Za, starting to rattle off a bunch of wins. We got to get him on the show. $500 to Big Za. The pick 7, we had dialed picks because who the hell else would win that contest? The guy, as we mentioned at the top of the show, is officially on 30,000 watch. He could do it this week in the main event. And in said case, Lance and I are coming on with cocktails and beers for the Monday show, and we talk to him, and we're having ourselves a grand old celebration. The Parlay Royale, it actually hit a couple times over the weekend, which you just love to see. Love to see people making some 4-figure payouts around here. SLS Scout on Saturday, and then Trev 9415 last night, both going home with a grand. And then Molina picks with a second place finish in the Parlay Royale. That gets you $500 around here. The main event, we're hoping to get Elock on the show this week. Wait and see on some text messages. He posted an 8-leg 131.27 multiplier. You just love to see it. Some freak show college picks on there that I am dying to talk to this guy about. Texas A&M Commerce, Texas A&M Corpus Christi. Just a freak show slate that only a psycho would know about, and I just have to meet this guy. But he wins himself $2,000, which was $1,738 more than he would have made placing that bet anywhere else. So good stuff. Elock, as we mentioned, this is obviously our first February episode. We'll be back next time tomorrow at our usual time, celebrating more Wanna winners and continuing to discuss the Super Bowl and how to walk out your Super Bowl party this year, very rich man or woman. Once again, we're also rapidly approaching the drop takeover at Little Joe's on February 10th. Fingers crossed, Lance and I will be able to join KG, Art, and Bob. Rumors of Mr. John Gruden appearance, as well as the good folks of Wanna Parlay and their Hermano Tequila Company, El Bandito Yankee. Again, that is February 10th, 4 p.m. to 2 a.m. You got good momentum with decision-making so far this year. That is obvious in the very fact that you've chosen to come on and listen to our show today. Do the right thing. Be at Little Joe's February 10th. And last but not least, before we say goodbye to you, new contest is open now on Wanna Parlay, the Super Bowl Drip Contest. It is 100% free to play. Winners get an authentic NFL jersey of their choice. Open now until February 9th, which is Super Bowl Sunday, this upcoming Sunday. Again, 100% free to play, and you're playing for a big-time NFL jersey. You'd have to be nuts not to do it. And that, folks, was a lot of me talking at the end and a lot of Wanna Parlay podcasts. We're going to be back same time tomorrow. Lance, take us.
Yep. Hey, everyone in the chat, appreciate you joining, showing out, especially KG and David. You guys are legends. Like Jack was saying, we'll be back again tomorrow, 3 p.m. Pacific, 6 p.m. Eastern. Be there or be square. And we'll see you then. All right. See ya.